to make it. They must not know I love trips to Vegas. The underdog became the underrated. In my city, I'm paraded. Confetti dropping when I'm home. I'm floating down Tudor, floating on strong. Had so many rights they couldn't tell us we was wrong. Lamar Middle School, we was on. I got this line hard in my chest. I'm one of the best. They ask about him, they gon' bring up success. See, I've been fighting this stress. You ain't right, you get left. I'm good with my left, so I don't argue with refs. Cause just like EA, I'm in the game.
What's up? This is your boy K Rich. We've got Rob and we've got our lovely Misa here with us. This is We Give 110 Wednesdays, and we have got a special gift for you today. Misa's going to talk a lot about community. You guys know this is one of our core cornerstones about how we love, serve, and care the people around us. She's got some awesome tips and tricks that she's going to unleash on you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let Misa go ahead and take this over.
Hello. And thank you for having me back again. Good. How are you?
Hey. Doing well.
We're doing good.
Yes. Community. It's one of my favorite topics. I tell everybody, one of the things they're always, when people are like, what kind of tips can you give when, you're starting a business? I'm like, find a community. I'm like, yeah, you can get so much further ahead if you have people in your corner, going along with you, because it can be lonely, because not everyone has the same level of support. So not everyone has family or friends that can, support them or, even just root them on. So if you can find people who even like along the same, path as you, or even just somebody who you can relate to, so you can have people to go to in those times where you're just like, like I just feel like giving up, or I don't know what to do. You have people to go to.
And that you can just be honest with, right?
Exactly.
Like you talked about it on your last episode, and that is just being able to be frank and honest with you as the bookkeeper and be able to tell my truth so that I'm not tippy-toeing around things that I need to move the needle on, right? Things I need to make decisions on.
Exactly. That was a big thing for me, because when I started, you're starting out, you're like, okay, well, where do I start from here? Where do I go? And it can be overwhelming. Yeah. And so thankfully I found a wonderful, wonderful lady who I came across. I can't even remember. I just came across her during my search. And she was someone who she helped bookkeepers start a bookkeeping business. And she was very relatable. And she spoke directly to me. So I'm like, that's some good marketing right there. But having her kind of going alongside me has really helped kind of accelerate the process, because otherwise I'd probably just still be trying to figure things out or just kind of stuck, rather than moving along and actually getting started and getting going.
Right. And we look at it like an inner circle, right? When I think about, who I'm going to invite into my inner circle, I'm thinking about, well, who do I want to invite into my home, right? Who can I trust? That's not going to be a yes man or a woman, right? I don't want to hear yes. I actually want you to look at my life. I want you to review how I'm operating. And you as a coach, as a mentor, it's up to you to hold me accountable and teach me about that discipline of this, what the community offers, right?
Right. Exactly.
A community of being able to pour back into the people around you. So awesome. Just so you're on that point number one, having like-minded people to bounce ideas off of and vent and provide perspective. So go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
That's one of my favorite things about having a community, is because I have a group of ladies who we're all bookkeepers. So, that's another thing, is finding like-minded people that you're not in competition with them. It's just people you can actually you can get together. You can say, okay, what issues are you guys having? Hey, how can you help me with this? And you can really get different perspectives on things and get ideas from other people. And then also have a little area and an open space where you can vent if you need to. So if like you're having issues with a client or you're not sure how to handle a situation, you have people that you can say, okay, I'm dealing with this. How should I approach it? And then they can give you some feedback and say, oh, I've dealt with that too. And this is how I handle it. And oh, that's a really scary situation. And you can have like just talk through things and really have people to communicate with and people to relate to, because they're in the same position as you, because they're doing the exact same thing as you. And then
Right.
it's not something where it's like, oh no, I can't tell you this or I can't share this because it's mine. It's like, no, we openly share and give encouragement and let everybody, hey, we can all do this. There's plenty of opportunity out there for everyone. So there's no need to like fight or try to, oh my gosh, I can't, not share.
And that's one of the big things I find in especially in the entrepreneur landscape, is that we have some people who are very willing to share, but I believe like a majority of people are just so, this is my idea, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want anybody to steal it, and like, that's okay, I understand that, but
yes,
having like-minded people out there to talk to and vet your idea. So many people who see this shiny bright light of an object and they're like, wow, this is so awesome, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do this. And they have people who are like-minded look at it and go, well, somebody's already doing that, or maybe that's not the best idea, but because they cloister, they lose that opportunity for other people to point out that maybe, yes, that is a good idea, but you should do this. Or they go, well, lots of people have tried that. What are you doing differently?
Exactly.
Well, and here's to put it in perspective. We work for ClickFunnels, and one of the core frameworks that we teach is Dream 100, and knowing your dream avatar, not just with your customer, but also with the people you want to work with, right? And having those like-minded people. So also searching for the right groups depends a lot about who you want to work with, who you want to surround yourself with, so that the perspective that they're giving is actually useful, beneficial, and allows, like you said, this to be like-minded. So jumping into the next concept, which is having a support system, encouraging and cheering you on. Talk a little bit about why that's so important.
This one is really, really important because like it can be hard, especially in the beginning when you're starting out. And like for me, like I had many, many doubts as far as I'm like, can I do this? Or, is this something I'm actually capable of? And then when you actually get someone who's encouraging you and saying, hey, you're actually really great at this, or, that's a great, way to look at things, and just like to really kind of bring out things in you that you probably don't see yourself. Right. It's really, really great to have. And then at the same time, you're kind of building if you're within the same industry, you're kind of building like kind of your own referral network at the same time, because I know I have people where it's like, I know I'm trying to serve a certain group of people. So then if someone comes to me and they're like, hey, I have this type of business and I need help with bookkeeping. And I'm like, well, I can't help you, but I do know somebody who can help you. And I can just easily refer them to someone that I already know. And so then they're not left, just kind of left out to dry. It's like, I have someone to give to you as a reference.
Yeah. And I think this is such another great point, is that having people to encourage you and cheer you on is so important, because you might not find it at home. And a lot of times entrepreneurial minded people run into this problem where the people surrounding them doubt what they're doing. And it's such a hard thing to get over, especially if it's like you're, a direct family member or your partner or wife or husband or someone like that, who just doesn't see the potential that you do. And it can be very discouraging. So finding those people around you that are going to support that idea and, even feed back into you, like mentor you, provide you with like the resources you need, is such an important point to have. You know, like for Carrie and I, like we were struggling. We were trying to do our things by ourselves, and you know, sometimes the people around us didn't understand why we were doing this or where we were going with it. They couldn't see what we saw. Exactly. So when we found each other, it was like, hey, I'm trying to do the exact same thing.
Exactly.
So why don't we just join forces, and where he's weak at something, I'm stronger. And when I'm weak at something, he's stronger. You know, like we can hold each other accountable, but also that whole idea of supporting each other and pushing each other and, you know, just cheering each other on.
And my whole idea of this is because I've been in the fire. I've been in the bankruptcies because of the mismanagement of finances. I've been in bankruptcies. I've had those businesses shut down. I've had to walk away from partners. I had to do all those things. And, you know, so that even puts a lens and a perspective over why we're even building what we're building. It's not so much the success that we've had, but like we know people come into our ecosystem on a journey. They could be just starting out. They could be an entrepreneur that has this bright idea. Where do they go? Where do they start? It's so overwhelming, right? And, you know, why it's so important to have that like-minded community cheering you on is because you're going to make a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
You actually have to engineer yourself to embrace failure and not just accept failure. Like you have to like failure. And that's a hard filter or a mindset to put over yourself, because like all we're seeking out there is like likes and shares. And you get caught up in this idea of like, I've got to validate this idea with somebody that's going to pat me on the back and just say it's a great idea. So there is a balance, right? Of somebody encouraging you and loving you and appreciating the things that you're doing, but also give you perspective, like you said in point number 1, where it's like, hey, you might take a look at this because that's probably not a good idea and for this reason. But hey, I love you and I appreciate you, right? So
exactly.
So jumping into point number 3, never feeling alone, because you have people right along with you on this journey. Talk a little bit about that. Maybe a personal experience that you've had.
This one is very, very special for me, because I know for me when I started, like it did feel very, very lonely. Although there's so much noise like on the internet and social, there's like so much stuff out there. But then it's like, when you get to like your personal situation, you're like, okay, but how do I move forward? And it's like, I'm lost. I'm confused. I need help. Like, where do I go? And so like literally call up and say, okay, I made it this far, but I'm not sure what next step I need to take. Or how should I approach a situation? Or, hey, what do I need to do when I'm trying to figure out pricing? You know, just like simple, basic things as far as just building up the foundations for your business. It's like trying to do it all by yourself can be scary and overwhelming. And you're just kind of like, it can be defeating too at times, because it's like, I don't even know where to go. But then when you have somebody that you can ease, somebody just to be in your corner and say, it's okay. Like today is a bad day. It's okay. Like we can get better tomorrow. Like it's okay. We have bad days. And then you don't feel so alone, because they're experiencing the same things you're experiencing. And that doesn't always happen with family and friends, because they're not on the same journey as you. Like, yes, you know, your friends and family, some might support you in the ways that they can, if they do, but in like the general scheme of things, they don't understand what you're going through on a day-to-day basis. They're living their life, doing their thing, and you have a whole different experience and journey going on in your personal life.
Right. Yeah, and you know, like you say, just putting your own experience on it. You know, I can remember back just feeling alone, like starting this mobile app and in this exact office right here, like 4, 5, 6 years ago, trying to make it happen, like taking the life savings, investing it back into this idea that ultimately would flop. You know, so it's just like I had to embrace that mindset of I'm on a journey just like everybody else. And the great thing, it's funny how the universe speaks to you, right? So I walk away from what I thought was my destiny with MVP Local and our mobile apps that we were developing. And I just couldn't understand why it failed, right?
Yeah.
And until I came to ClickFunnels and I started to understand that I shouldn't have started with this idea from scratch that I was just trying to create and throw out into the market. I should have done my research. I should have found my Dream 100. I should have built my frameworks. And but that's your life lesson in your journey. It's just like had I have found that ecosystem earlier that was supporting me along this path. And when I say support, like knowing the actual person and what they're going through, right? Because we all experience something different. So the idea of community is like everything that we're building that we give 1/10. It's just like I lack at finance and things like that. So let's bring on an expert like Misa to contribute to our community so that people listening on the other end of the line that might be starting their business, that might just be getting started, or might be being approached by the IRS and need somebody to kind of clean up that audit process. Like you have to have those people in your corner, or you're going to fail every single time.
Exactly.
In those moments, it's just like you're going to try to rely on yourself and do it yourself. And it's just like you're going to spin your wheels and spin your wheels. And you talked about it last time, I remember, about outsourcing the things that are going to put more time on your plate so that you can do what you do in your business and let other people that are experts help you get to where you want to go. And so, yeah, that's it's this one hit home for me. Like every point you talked about, I was like, I got a personal experience on that. And I know Rob has too. I know Rob has experienced the same things, and this is what really drives us with We Give 1/10. It's just like 9 months ago, this idea and his ideas and my ideas were just ideas until we came together, and it was just like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Yeah, let's do this. And it's just like we made that commitment to ourselves. Like no matter what, we're going to keep on showing up every day. We might not get everything done that we said we were going to do. And that's just us growing and being better versions of ourselves and holding ourselves more accountable and having a higher level of character that's going to say, I need a deadline, not a timeline. And I'm going to get it no matter what. You know, sometimes you have to have those people in your corner that shift your mindset and perspective. And it's just like, I get to be that for him. He gets to be that for me. And then reaching out to you. It's just like how that whole thing started. It's like, I know she's an entrepreneur. I know she's going on a journey to serve other entrepreneurs. Should be a great fit for our community. So I appreciate you jumping on again to talk about these topics today, and wanted to open the floor for any other discussion topics that you wanted to bring up about just getting ready for tax season, right? And that coming up here pretty quick. Like, I don't know.
Yes, I know they extended. I know the IRS extended the deadline, but I mean, you still want to get your stuff done sooner rather than later. So, like, if you haven't already set up, your bookkeeping system, and you have all your stuff ready to go, that's something you want to go ahead and get ready, because the tax preparers. Thankfully, I don't do taxes, but the tax preparers that I know, they are swamped. They are stressed, and they're just because it's so much, just because with all of the with the new law and everything they have to update as far as rules and everything, and then on top of trying to meet, the tax deadlines for clients. So sooner the better, because we are now in April. So the sooner the better is always good.
So looping back to the community idea, you mentioned people that you connected with. Like, is there anything that we can tell our audience, like what communities that you got involved in and why? Can you expand a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one of the main so the lady that I connected with and who's been helping me along my journey so far. So her name is Serena, and she has one of her businesses is Ambitious Bookkeeper. So that's what she has as far as helping other bookkeepers and accountants start bookkeeping businesses. Like,
got you.
There's a lot of different ones out there, but she presents it in a way that it really connected with me, because it wasn't just, let me just start this because, I'm just trying to start something. It was like, no, like I have a bigger vision for what I'm trying to do. And I'm really trying to serve other people. And like, it's just not something I'm just trying to do on the side. Like, I want to build something real and build something that will last. Yeah. And so if you want to check her out, she's so fun and she's awesome. So her name is Serena, and you can find her at ambitiousbookkeeper.com. Like,
does she get you set up like with everything? Does she have templates? Does she have coaching?
So I will tell you. So when I first came across her, she had like a bookkeeping biz kit is what she called it. And so it was like just kind of like a little guide to get you started as far as these are the things you need to do. This is your tech stack. These are the things to have in line. This is how to go through a discovery call, and like having all the templates. And then now she actually has a full-on program. So if you're a bookkeeper and you want to start a business, you can enroll in her program, and she literally walks you through every step of the way with templates, with everything. And then she's available to you when you do have questions or real life scenarios where it's like, because I'm always reaching out to her. I'm like, okay, I have this situation. What do I need to do? And she's like, okay, let's, we can approach it this way. Or if we need to, role play, we can do that too. So it's been very, very helpful in getting started, because I don't know what I was going to do. Because I was just like, it's just so much. It was so much information. And that's the thing about, the internet and social media, is that there's so much stuff out there and so many people putting out information. But then it's like, what information is actually going to be valuable to me and will actually help me progress?
Right. So like piggybacking on, we talked about like Dream 100, our company teaches that framework. But we also talk a lot about, building out that value ladder. So it sounds like she has that. It sounds like she serves at this level, and then also does the consulting and finding those people that you can model off of, because they've been there and they have the resources. It's so valuable.
Yes.
Because you can go fast by yourself. But I heard this quote. One of our Dream 100 people that we follow, Nick Long, on the Multiple Club. I listen to his podcast. He and Wake Up Warrior talks about it as well. But you can go fast alone, but you can go far with a team, and people that have been there, people that can mentor you, people that can hold you accountable like a community. So awesome. That's all I got today. Rob, you got any other banter to jump in with, or
just kind of going over it again, like having like-minded people to bounce your ideas off is so important. It'll help you provide perspective on what your product is, what your services are, like where you're going, what potholes to avoid, and that's one of those big things. Having a support system that encourages you. So going out and finding those Facebook groups, finding the Clubhouse channels that you like, having the podcasts that you like, commenting on them, talk to those people. They're going to be more supportive than even some of the people who are directly around you. And then of course, never feeling alone is always a good thing to feel, because when you're a business person and going out there, you're putting yourself out there, you're putting your money out there, putting your reputation out there, and having someone who's on that journey and kind of supporting exactly what you need to do is so important. And it's something that a lot of people are missing. So find your tribe, find the people that are like-minded. They might not be your loved ones. And that's one of the big things that, I have to tell people all the time is that we have musicians. A lot of times musicians and artists get the hardest time. My wife's an artist. She does tattoos, and COVID, everybody's just like, give up. Why are you wasting your time? Other artists, like musicians, always get yelled at, like, you're never going to make yourself, make something happen. So you got to find the people who are like-minded and help you move along the way. And they're going to help get you over the roadblocks, past the potholes, get you through all these little things, because you can reach out to them. And that's one of the biggest things you got to take away from this whole chat is find your tribe. They're going to support you. They're going to make you feel good. And they're going to let you know if you're screwing up.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, that's all I got there.
Well, that was awesome. And wow, I'm going to tell you, probably the best one I've had so far, these lives, these expert lives. You really brought the heat today, so we appreciate it. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, go to Perfectly Kept Books on Instagram. And I'm going to tell you what, I have been watching your stories and your reels intently. I love the marketing stuff that you're throwing out. I love those. Hey, you talk to them, and then it's just like the screen pops up, and it's just like throwing me quick books. That's some tough stuff. I love that.
Thank you.
So, anyways, we appreciate you guys for joining. If you're out there and you're hitting this just now, you're just now joining us, go ahead and go back, hit this on replay. Let us know by tagging R as replay or L as live, and go ahead and comment. I know Mitch Preston commented and said, let's go. And so that was awesome that he got engaged with us, and appreciate you joining. So awesome. You guys have an awesome rest of your week. Keep giving that 110.